What's going on, button pushers? Today we're converting the Canon Fisheye 15mm into a EF lens, and this is a really cool lens because it has its own built-in filters and it's pretty sick. It's also a fisheye, so that is also a plus. So first thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna put on this lens hood, which has a 95mm diameter. So pretty much you just take these tiny screws and screw it in on the side of the holes, and you make it super tight to the point where it can't really come off of the lens. I'm gonna clean it because I kind of forgot to do it beforehand, so here we are doing that. Next, we're gonna add a focus gear to the lens because it's gonna be a really nice, smooth Cine-modded lens. This is a metal focus gear, super high quality. We're gonna take the rubber, which kind of adds friction and tightness to it, and just kind of, size it in. And we're gonna use our full force to put it on the lens to the point where it sticks and doesn't budge. The last thing we have to do is convert it from an FD to an EF mount, and I'm gonna do this on a separate day because I kind of don't have the parts yet. So for some reason, my 15mm had flat head screws in it, so I had to sharpen my tool, my own personal tool, not the one that Simmod sent me, to be able to actually go in and do this. So there's 3 screws, and if you're having trouble accessing them, there's actually a little knob here. If you push down with your screw, you're able to turn the gear completely. So you want to go in and untighten all these screws, take them all out, and I put them in my lens cap just to kind of keep track of everything and make sure that nothing's out and about, and it should come right off. Next, we have 2 silver pieces inside the lens, which is going to unlock the aperture ring, and I'm using my knife because it was a little tight, so I had to get the initial twist before I could take it off with my screwdriver, because for some reason the flathead was super fine. But once you get in there and get all those metal pieces off, it's just 2 pieces that you need to get off. The aperture ring should come right off of the lens. Now from here, it's pretty much a breeze. Look at the internals of the lens here. This is how the aperture is controlled, and it kind of flicks back, which is pretty cool. So this is the aperture ring that you're going to add in. There is a little notch that goes in between the little 2 prongs that I showed you earlier. Once you line that up, just slide it down and press it in, and it should be good in controlling the aperture. So now that my flatheads are gone, I can use these screws that came with the Simmod kit, and having a magnetic screwdriver is really nice because it picks up the screws for you and you don't have to worry about them falling and dropping all over the place. So now you want to take the actual mount part itself and line up with the screws so that you can screw this in nice and tight to get your EF converted. And if you weren't already aware, this is that piece right there. Nice, simple, and clean. Now we're gonna screw that in when we have the holes lined up with the Simmod provided screws. And you might not want to make them too tight, but you can. But if you make it way too tight, your aperture ring might be a little bit tough to turn. But that's something we can figure out after we have all the screws tightened and the EF mount on the lens itself. So once you have them all screwed in, sorry, my cat wanted to interrupt me, and let's put her back down so she doesn't mess up the lens. But once you have everything on the lens now, it should look good. The mount is awesome. I'd go back, test the aperture, and make sure that everything still works. As you can see, it is a little bit tight, so I might go back and loosen these screws up. But for the most part, this is pretty much EF converted, and that's all it really takes. So I would go back, test everything, make sure it works, test it a few times. The filtering works fine. It is a little bit tough to turn, but it does work, and I probably won't be adjusting this in the middle of shooting, so that should be fine. And the aperturing works, so that is all. The AF lens has been converted. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep pushing buttons, guys, and I'll see you then. Peace.